So welcome to the Run Testers and the latest in our partnership series with COROS. In this video we're going to be exploring the differences in all the watches in the COROS range. We're going to basically explain to you which watch you need to suit your running. So if you're not familiar with the COROS range, essentially what you've got here is a range of watches that are designed for lots of different types of runner. Everything from someone who might be attacking the road right up to sort of ultra kind of rugged trails and ultras. It's a full range and we're going to break down exactly what each of those watches does. But there's a couple of key benefits also that we're really fans of.
First, that's going to be battery life, and the watches that COROS have all have a really impressive level of battery life for different types of training that you're doing.
Another thing we're big fans of when it comes to COROS range is that when they release new updates on the watches and new features, they tend to roll them out across their entire range. So even older watches get support with new updates, a couple of years after they're launched. And often when they release a new feature, it will be launched across the range, not just restricted to a few high-end models. So something like the EvoLab training features recently that came out was on the Pace 2 as well as the Vertix 2.
So what you're getting here is a watch that actually gets better over time.
Yeah, it's quite a future-proof purchase in a way.
And these watches are not just for runners, they also track a whole range of sport modes, so water sports, swimming, skiing, kind of basically, if there's a sport, it's on here, you name it, you want to track it, it does it. So before we get into what makes each of these watches in the range different, we're going to have a quick run through of the kind of features that you can expect to get across all of them to kick off with.
EvoLab is COROS' sports science platform giving athletes personalised fitness, fatigue and performance insights to help maximise training. It allows users to monitor daily, weekly and long-term metrics such as training load, recovery and intensity. For our full guide on COROS EvoLab, click the link in this video. Running Power provides data on the rate of effort used when running. The power calculation uses a number of metrics including weight and speed to give runners a clear overview of real-time workout intensity. COROS users can choose from a range of pre-designed training plans as well as workouts created by athletes. Custom training plans and workouts can also be created. Sleep monitoring allows users to get a detailed overview of the amount of sleep, as well as the breakdown of the individual types of sleep being achieved. COROS devices also include a full suite of sensors, including optical HR, barometric altimeter, accelerometer, gyroscope, and compass. You'll also be able to access phone notifications from apps and messaging services directly to your watch. COROS will continue to roll out a range of features in the future. This will include topo maps for both the Vertix 1 and the Apex Pro.
A recent update brought 3 new features to the COROS range. You can now sync routes from your Strava account directly to the COROS app to load onto watches, and keen climbers can record multi-pitch climbs via a dedicated sports mode. The last new feature is the ability to set up a shortcut to a favourite feature such as the map or compass via the backlight button. The COROS Pace 2 packs a huge array of features into a slim and extremely light design, making it the ideal choice for runners who want a smaller watch but don't really want to compromise on features. It's also really good value. It brings most of the features you're going to find on far pricier watches to a device that costs £180. It's the perfect pick for serious road and track runners training for events from 5k right up to the marathon. And if you do want to push it even further than that, it does have the battery life to get you there, offering 30 hours in full GPS mode or 60 hours in Ultramax mode. The Pace 2 weighs just 29 grams if you're using the nylon band, and making it really comfortable to wear at all times. Despite that small, lightweight design, it still fits in a clear 1.2-inch screen, and you can pop up to 6 stats at once on there on the run, making it easier to keep tabs on all your essential data during training sessions. The Pace 2 has COROS' track running mode for extra accuracy in your sessions, and it's also a full triathlon watch and has a multi-sport and open water swimming mode. It can link up to all your external sensors using both Bluetooth and ANT+, so you can expand on the internal sensors you're getting here, which include a barometric altimeter and a compass. When it comes to guiding your training, you can use the Pace 2 to plan out all your workouts and use it to guide you through them on the run. It also gets the same EvoLab analysis you're going to find across the COROS range. You're getting recovery advice, race predictions, and an accurate assessment of your current training load and fitness, so you can ensure the miles you're putting in are effective in getting you fitter. The Pace 2 has a stripped back design compared to some of the COROS watches, with 2 buttons and one of them being the digital dial that makes it easy to navigate through the watch's menus and data screens. It will last you up to 20 days of daily use and also tracks your sleep and daily activity. It doesn't have the monster battery life of some of the watches in the COROS range, but really is still incredibly long lasting given how small and lightweight it is. Pace 2 also comes in a larger range of colours than the other watches in COROS' range, with the original navy and white options joined by gold, green and red seasonal options, plus a special Eliud Kipchoge edition that pays homage to the greatest marathon of all time with red and green accents inspired by the Kenyan flag. Pace 2 was actually the watch used by Eliud when he won the gold medal in the marathon at the Tokyo Olympics. So it was good enough for Eliud Kipchoge. You can be pretty sure the Pace 2 is good enough to help you set a marathon PB. The Eliud Kipchoge edition of the Pace 2 comes with the COROS pod, but if you get that separately with any of the other watches, you can use it to show stats on your running form live on the run. It can also measure running power from the wrist without any need for another sensor, but if you do use something like the Stride pod already, it integrates really well with the Pace 2 to show all your stats on the run.
The pod can also be used independently of any watch, provided the user has a smartphone and the COROS app.
All in all, the Pace 2 is an incredibly feature-rich watch. If you're pushing for PBs on the road and just want an accurate device that contains all the key features you need to get you there in a very lightweight package, it's the COROS to get.
The Apex is a member of the COROS watch family that sits above the feature-packed Pace 2, offering a step up in case materials, durability, battery life, and generally being a better companion for running and exploring outdoors. It comes in 46mm and 42mm sizes, offering always-on memory displays, aluminium covers, and either a stainless steel or titanium alloy bezel. The Apex will track outdoor runs, treadmill runs, and track sessions, offering the ability to follow training plans with third-party app support for apps like Strava and Training Peaks. There's access to the COROS Evo Lab, serving up advanced running data like VO2 max, fatigue, and training load, with additional insights into recovery time to help keep you fresh for your next run. It will work with external sensors including heart rate monitors and footprints like Stride to add an extra dimension to your training too. If you're looking for a COROS that will help you find your way, the Apex offers breadcrumb and back to the start navigation features with the ability to upload routes to the watch too. Away from running, you can view phone notifications from Android phones and iPhones, automatically track your sleep and monitor heart rate 24/7 to get a better insight into your current state of fitness. Like all COROS watches, you can expect big battery life here too. The 46mm Apex can last for up to 100 hours in Ultra Max GPS mode, while the 42mm Apex can manage up to 80 hours in the same mode. For day-to-day use, you can expect weeks as opposed to days of battery life.
The Apex Pro is a GPS watch focused on durability and increased data when hitting the outdoors. Like the Apex, it's designed to tackle heavier duty activities from technical trail running to climbing and hiking. The hardware of the Apex Pro sees a jump in battery life from that found in the Apex, with 40 hours of full GPS usage, an increase of 14% from the standard Apex, and 45 days of general daily use, up from the already impressive 30 days found in the Apex. The Apex Pro also includes a host of technical upgrades from the Apex, largely focused on those athletes looking to train at altitude. Those include optical pulse monitoring, 24/7 blood oxygen monitoring, and altitude mode. The Apex Pro also features touchscreen technology to make it easier to view different activity screens during training, as well as make viewing detailed historical data easier. There's a backlight always on mode that means you can view your activities that go on throughout the night, but without taking a big hit on the battery performance of the device. As well as automatically turning off at sunrise, you can also just opt for the dedicated backlight button for times when you just want to glance the screen.
With its long 140-hour full GPS battery life that's extendable up to 240 hours in ultra-max low-frequency GPS mode, plus global offline topo maps and big rugged build, the range-topping Vertix 2 is built for runners who like bigger adventures. It's the only COROS that speaks to all 5 satellite systems and offers dual-frequency satellite link-up, and that aims to boost accuracy in trickier GPS spots. Despite its obvious off-road credentials, if you've got the budget, the Vertix 2's almost never die battery life will also appeal to runners who want the luxury of a watch that you only have to charge once a month, even in full marathon training mode where you might be running 10 plus hours a week. The 1.4-inch display is the biggest screen you'll find on a COROS, so if you need a lot of metrics on show at once, this can handle up to 8 customizable stats at a time. Durability-wise, it's water resistant to 100 meters. It has a diamond-like coated sapphire display and and coated titanium alloy bezel, so it's built to take the most knocks. There are some extra physiological tracking smarts here too. If you're interested in monitoring heart rate variability to guide your training, it's also the only COROS to offer ECG-based heart rate variability reads from the wrist. It also has an optical pulse oximeter and will monitor blood oxygen at high altitudes. That's really useful if you're training or racing in the mountains. Beyond that, the final major standout feature on the Vertix 2 is that 32GB of music storage and offline playback. So if you're a runner who likes music but hates carrying a phone, this is the COROS you need.
So there we go. We told you about what each of these watches do, what the features are, but we're 3 runners here and we use these watches, so we're going to just go through why we would use each of these watches. So, Kieran, tell us a little bit about what your type of running is and why you'd use the watch you've chosen.
Yeah, I mean, out of all of us, I tend to do more ultras, hit the trail a bit more. I live in a big sort of national park, so I'm often out getting lost for 4 hours plus. And so I need big battery life. I want to have kind of good navigation skills. I want something that's going to be kind of rugged and be able to take the knocks. So that's why for me out of this range, I'd go Vertix 2 when I'm doing those kind of things. So recently I put this through an ultra test, to test that kind of big battery life, and being able to pick up a watch that's on 12% battery and still be able to go out and run for a long time is a real big selling point. For me, that's just that battery kind of fear that you get. Getting rid of that in one sweep is something that I would say is a real big draw of the Vertix. There's one other thing that I really like about this. If you're really interested in looking at your recovery, this has a HRV function, so you can do an ECG test daily in the morning by touching the bezel, and that will give you a readout of your heart rate variability, which is really good for guiding your training. If you go deep into that kind of thing and supporting your training, this is one of the only GPS sports watches that I think offers that ECG on the wrist.
And you do like to go deep into your training.
And that's something that I do. I really like to sort of monitor my training load and recovery.
Which we always hear about.
Talk about it a lot.
So, for example, the morning after an ultra, would it tell you to do a really hard training run?
It did. No, it didn't. No, actually, it picked up really well. The morning after I did that, I did a 62k run. The morning after that, it clocked that my HRV was low. And yeah, that gives you a good indication of what to do next.
Nice. And Nick?
So I'd be going pace 2 all the way. I'm fairly slender wrists. I'm a road runner, all focused on running fast marathons, that kind of thing. I want the lightweight, smallest watch, really fits nicely on the wrist, and it's great value. I do like a bit of value, and that's certainly got value in spades. It does everything I need to. The battery's still really long. You're still going a couple of weeks, no problem like that. You've got all my workouts on there. That fits really nicely with what I do, and I get that kind of training analysis. So I don't really feel the need to go any further than what you get on the Pace 2, and I like the fact it's the lightest watch in the range, which is what I'm really after. How are you, Tom? You're a big Apex Pro man?
Well, I kind of sit in the middle of you two, so I want a little bit of everything. I'm a road runner. I do tend to go onto trails and stuff, but I tend to do a lot more sort of hiking type stuff. So I find the Apex Pro is the best for me because it has maps in it, and soon we'll have topo maps in it. It looks great. It looks like a really nice watch. It's probably the nicest watch I've got for like wearing with nice clothes. And it just does basically everything that I want it to do. It's not too heavy, and yeah, it's just a good all-round watch. Mike actually uses the Apex, which is the sort of lesser version of the Apex Pro when it comes to features. It does have brake run trails on it, but it doesn't have maps. But all in all, it's generally a watch also designed for sort of a bit of everything, from going to road to trails.
So there you have it. That's our deep dive into the COROS GPS sports watch range. If you have any further questions about those, hit us up in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You can also obviously find more information over on the COROS website. Don't forget to check that out for new colourways and to find out what new features will be rolling down to all of these watches as and when they come out. That's something that COROS does a lot. We've enjoyed talking to you about these watches. So thanks for watching. We've been the Run Testers, and we'll see you again soon.